Hello, my name is Philip Penland. I am a student at Grand Canyon University online in elementary education and special education. I am working on my bachelor's degree right now. So, we are doing a lot of assignments currently that kind of discuss the ethics of teaching and what good qualities teachers should possess, what makes teachers better suited to teach or better suited for the classroom environment, converse to what things of improvement should be done before stepping into the classroom environment. So, in this assignment, we are discussing teacher dispositions and self assessment on awareness of how we see ourselves in the dispositions that are put forward for the teaching community. So, there are 10 that we generally discuss in this course, ranging from anything from fairness and professional conduct all the way to high expectations and respect for diversity of others. Um, in the beginning, I'd like to talk about what my strong points are already and kind of get a feel of why I feel confident going into a classroom environment with these particular sets of dispositions. And then we'll talk about which ones I think kind of need work, where I think I need some growth, maybe some more education, some more learning to kind of figure out what's actually going on with my own learning process to kind of see where I fit into the grand scheme of things. So, starting with my strong points, I do believe that advocacy is a very strong point for me. Advocacy involves standing up for the needs and concerns of students. This is a huge thing for me as a member of a traditionally marginalized community in the United States and throughout the world in some cases. It has always been a huge part of my life to be an advocate for those around me that are not seen, heard, or respected. So I do think this is a huge strong point for me, and I do believe that it'll create a very cohesive working environment in classrooms that I am part of because I will push that advocacy for every student to be seen, heard, and respected at all times. The other one that I think is probably my strongest suit is right in line with advocacy, and that is respect for the diversity of others. Respecting diversity means recognizing and valuing the differences between students. And the same thing for advocacy. We talk about pushing for the inclusion, the acceptance, seen, heard, respected. Diversity is a huge part of growth and development and change. It helps students to understand the world at large. And while GCU is a Christian college, a Christian university, excuse me, we do push for the understanding of diversity and the respect for different communities. And that's a huge value that I think would benefit the world at large, not just education, but everybody understanding a little bit more about why diversity is valuable and why inclusion is valuable, because without those things, we have a very small world of people that act and look and talk just like us. So, talking about some of the things that I need to work on before I reach the classroom environment, which I don't know that anybody's really good at discussing what they're bad at. I think most of us all focus on what we're good at and try to keep that in the forefront. Um, but I do believe one of those that I probably need to work on is probably going to be professional conduct. Now, I don't mean that I'm an unprofessional human. I do believe that I display professional characteristics. I do believe that I display professional action and ethical decision making. But I believe that I do have what some would question as an unethical appearance with piercings, which you can see my eyebrow piercing, as well as my large earlobe gauges. I do have visible tattoos on my neck and my arms. And these may pose problems for certain environments or certain people's ethical standards when it comes to professional conduct, as well as I do have some language barriers that I do tend to get a little heated in discussion and maybe slip in a word that would be unethical to use in an elementary environment. I do have a son of my own who's almost 2, so I am learning to kind of wrangle that in and keep that under control. But it is definitely something I want to continue to work on before I get into the classroom environment. The other thing that I think I really need to work on is reflection. Reflection is really the practice of regularly examining my own actions. And again, it's not that I believe that I have unethical actions that need consistent reflection or constant reflection. I just don't think that as people, we tend to look at our shortcomings as often as we look at our victories. They say history is written by the victors. So we write our history based on the goals that we've accomplished, the wars that we've won, the battles that we've triumphed. We really don't write our history and go, well, there was these 10 times that I failed to do this. And that makes it challenging. So I do think reflection is something large that I do need to kind of take into account more often and definitely put on the table as something a little more valuable before I go into the classroom environment. So with that, we're going to discuss the qualities that a professional educator should display. This is a wide range of qualities, and I guess it depends on what kind of education we're talking about in reality. Here, I'm going to kind of focus on elementary education since that is my focus and what I'm in school for. But I don't think that these necessarily apply to collegiate level educators. I think there is a degree of expectation, understanding that goes into higher level education that may not be present in elementary education or even special education, which again is part of my educational pathway. So qualities, when I think of qualities, I do think of the dispositions. These are obviously greater qualities. These are dispositions, so they include multiple qualities. But things like integrity, things like honesty, these are obviously things that all educators should possess. Patience is something I think that all elementary educators should probably possess, and special educators at that. The idea that we get stuck in places where we are losing patience with students that don't understand or grasp information quite as quickly as others is real, and it's a consistent challenge, especially in elementary education and special education. So I do believe that patience is definitely a quality that we need to look at more often. But I think the real thing that I think a lot of people are missing is the first one I brought up, and that's integrity. And integrity is just the value of doing what you believe is the correct thing and having validation behind that and being able to stick to what you believe is correct. Now, at GCU, we are taught to incorporate our spiritual values into our educational ability, and that is fantastic. As a non-Christian member of the GCU campus, I don't necessarily know that I will be incorporating my spiritual values because I don't know that they necessarily coincide with education, but I do appreciate the integrity that that creates. While I don't agree with the obvious violations to constitutional law with integration of church and state, so public schools and religion, I do believe that your teachers should be allowed to have the integrity of who they are. If you are a Christian educator, you should be able to wear your cross necklace or have your Jesus fish sticker on the back of your car, or carry your bag that says Jesus is Lord. These are all things that are part of your integrity. They are part of who you are. They are part of the free speech that makes you who you are. And it's not indoctrination. It's not the ability to change the students' minds. It's not even you forcing the students to participate. It's just the reality of you maintaining integrity of who you are. And I think that's a huge value that a lot of teachers are losing as we push education more towards test score keeping and less about honest learning. I think integrity is something that we are missing in a large degree. Aside from that, there are 1,000 different qualities that I think teachers should have. Timeliness, effective communication skills, good hygiene. There's literally hundreds, if not thousands, of qualities that I think educators should possess. But I think everything can be summed up in integrity. If you have integrity, then those other qualities that I believe that you should possess kind of fall in line. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that this helps you understand a bit about who I am and what I plan on doing with my collegiate career and eventually my education career. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Happy to answer anything that you have to ask. Otherwise, thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.